How's it going with my sandwiches? Sorry.
Welcome. Sorry at the end. I love this already. Welcome, guys, to the City Podcast. COVID restrictions have forced us to go to a very nice spot, actually. The Burwood Footy Club, I think it is.
Edited in shot of...
Yeah, edited in Sheen Pans.
Pan shot of the...
Sheen from Jimmy Neutron.
Shot.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, it's been several months since we've recorded one. And I'm so excited. Yeah, and we're out in public for the first time in history. Coming. Live, yeah. We've never done one live.
No fans, unfortunately.
No, well, if we had a following, everyone would just be lined up here.
Yeah, we'd be doing it
on the Oval.
A live studio audience.
That would be fun one day.
That would be pretty cool.
One day.
We need to get a live studio audience.
It'd be something else, but...
If only.
If only, yeah. If only. I've given Adam something to just fidget with, because he loves having something to fidget with. I do too, actually. I just kind of didn't
bring anything. Otherwise it would have been my keys.
Oh yeah, my keys are in my pocket. I'll probably just do that. But yeah, we got a little sturdy, crappy. Well, it's not sturdy at all.
Sturdy,
pretty crappy table, and
shit table.
Just really happy to be here. And I just burped in the mic. It's disgusting.
That's awesome. Let's go.
Yeah. But for anyone that doesn't realise the restrictions here, we can't actually go to each other's houses, but we can travel wherever we want to, which kind of makes no sense. But anyway,
probably just means you can go into like shops and shit.
Yeah, and bars and stuff, which is where the 30th episode of the Roast Podcast will take place tonight, or most of it, or half of it.
Maybe.
Yeah, because we're filming 28, 29 and 30 today, but like shortened versions. So I'm sorry guys, they're not hour-long episodes, they're just 3 30-minute long episodes. So we're filming one big one, but they're split. I don't really know what I'm saying. We better get to the topics, because I have some ripper topics. You gotta pull out your phone there, buddy, so I can just...
Why'd you send them to me?
Roll through, because I have to use this to record audio. And this phone is the only one that syncs the audio, because last time we used your phone and it was a disaster, sadly. I don't know what happened there. It didn't sync for some reason.
It didn't swim. It sank.
And after we read through the topics, Adam will talk about we'll both talk about what's been happening in our lives for the last like 4 months, or however long it's been. March 29 was our last recording of the Roast Podcast. Today's July 30, so holy crap. No SIM.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I changed my SIM over to my new phone.
Does your new phone do Messenger?
Yes, it does, but I don't really want it.
Oh,
Whoppy.
Oh, Whoppy. You gotta say that tonight. Just, oh, Whoppy. Oh, it's a good one. Yeah, I had a lot of plans for this podcast, but unfortunately Adam's work stopped me from being able to do all those plans. He was called in at 10 this morning when we were going to start filming at 11:30, but you know, we're filming at 4:08, which is fine. We're still good lighting. And here we go. School of Rock is a life-changing movie. Have you seen School of Rock?
It's been years.
Do you remember anything from it?
Nope.
Well, I envy you, because it's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Is that the one where, you know, what's his name? Jack Black makes a funny joke about, I think, you know, with these classes I've touched your kids and they've touched me, and then they fucking lynch him.
I've touched your kids. No, your kids have touched me, and I'm pretty sure I've touched them. And then the next shot is him just running down the corridor. Yeah. It's a great movie. I mean, the ending's fantastic. It's probably the biggest fuck you to the current school system movie you'll ever see. Like, it's just a genius movie. And I think it's something you and I would, especially you, like, would touch by in the soul.
Yeah, let it touch
I'm
me.
pretty sure I've touched them.
Ooh.
I'm glad you remember that quote though, because I wrote that topic down like, I hope you remember something from that movie. But that's something we'll gloss over more one day. Oh, sorry, you gotta go back to the topics. Your phone just died. Oh, no, it's okay. But when you watch the movie one day, we'll go over that more. Today's just the Pick at Destiny is another one where I want to talk about in a future podcast.
I haven't seen that one at all. So.
It's great fun, that movie. And why the current school system is a joke is the next one. Why is the current school system a joke?
I don't know.
because people walk past in front of our
People
podcast.
walk past, and
I'm so glad they like committed to it. They didn't just turn around and walk back. Have you seen those YouTube videos where someone walks into someone's vlog and they just start walking and down the supermarket aisle and then they just slowly walk back?
walk back away. Yeah,
These girls are just like, fuck you, we're committing to this shit.
yeah. Fucking.
I was gonna say, well, dude, just two little girls. Jesus Christ. The current school system is a joke.
I can't quite remember even.
No, I can't as well. I think that was tied into the School of Rock one, so that's one we can probably just gloss over. Another one we can gloss over.
Probably.
All of these
Unfortunately.
topics were dependent on you watching School of Rock. I didn't
Look,
think
I've
it
seen
through.
it, but like,
Your phone teacher.
look, maybe you should have just
Maybe you
kept
did this setting on your phone.
Fuck off. Leave it alone.
Oh, I gotta go to a topic that's like something that we can just dive into, deep dive. There's a lot of good stuff in there that's great for a future podcast. This one?
Yeah.
Let's read it out.
Let's do that one. Don't let people call you a loser or shit on your own ambitions just because they don't match the norm. Yeah, pretty much.
One of my favourite topics I've ever written for the Roast Podcast. I'm just kidding. No, but it is frustrating, isn't it, when you have a passion in someone else. And I have a story tied into this that I'll tell in a second after you explain what your experience is with this. But when someone just shits on your passion because it's not like you're not doing like a Bachelor of Science at uni, so you mean nothing type shit.
Yeah, fucking. I don't think I've ever had someone just go, oh, animator, fuck you. But I guess it was sort of like that in the, well, because technically the diploma and advanced diploma that I did are film and TV. No, sorry, they were screen and media animation.
Yeah.
It wasn't diplomas of animation, they were screen and media diplomas. There was another half to them for film and TV, and we often got a lot of shit off the fucking... It wasn't like direct shit, it was just them being dicks off the film and TV kids. Because I don't know,
But how can they? Their medium requires far less work.
Exactly. They spend a lot more time in production. No, sorry, they spend a lot more time in like post, doing all their editing and all that shit. We
Animation
spend a
is
lot of-
just post.
pretty much. Well, it's all production.
Yeah.
Because you're doing, making all the frames and stuff. Fucking, yeah, they just, I don't know. They were like, oh, we're better than you. And the whole, final night thing was devoted to them, and that was a fucking shit. I think I did go, but I came in a little bit late, so I missed the start of it. Yeah, apparently, like, the films were good, like, don't get me wrong, but what they made was good. Most of it was like some fucking avant-garde shit that you have to be on 6 levels of irony to understand. But like,
How many layers of irony are my god? Like maybe 5 or 6.
maybe 5 or 6, my god. You're like a little baby. Watch this.
Suck! Oh, I tried to do it with the echo, but no. Okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, some of them just had these weird bloody connotations and stuff. One of them was about this girl trying to lose her virginity, and it was like, okay, that's fine and all. But we got to, I don't know, it was just, and then there was like this one scene that was super like heavy-handed on the symbolism. She was trying to make like food for the person that was going to come over to her house and spend her first time with, and it was fucking like calamari onion rings. I'm like, what the fuck? And it just looked like gross, weird shit. It was like, and
All the non-breadcrumbs ones looks pretty gross, yeah.
I'm like, I can see the symbolism because it's like a slimy ring,
Yeah.
fucking vagina joke here, but it's like,
I didn't get that. I didn't read that.
well, that's the whole cue of it, And then she's making the things and like drops one and then has this like moment of clarity and she's like, I'm not ready for this right now. And
Oh, so that's not that bad. That's a good message.
yeah, and then there's like a super awkward scene because the guy still comes over and she has to turn him away, and he's like, well, could we at least, get dinner or something one time? So it's like, implied that they still made something of themselves together, but not, force their first time like that. So it's like, it was good. It was just like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of, weird, like, forced symbolism that doesn't make sense. Like, if you're making something for someone coming over to your house as like a treat, like, would you make fucking calamari donuts?
It's more like just like, look, audience, look at us.
Look at us be smart.
Yeah, look at our symbolism. It's like, that's what student films often do though. They kind of like, they don't know subtlety. They don't exercise subtlety in their work. So, I mean, it's typical. But it's, how many people had animation films that night?
2. So it was 3 hours. It was 2 hours of screening, right?
Yep.
And 1.5 hours of screening, and there was like 17 things shown. 2 of them were animations. One was stop motion, which was fucking phenomenal. Like, shit. The girl who made the stop motion was Apollonia, and she was fucking on another level, like literally.
Did she upload it to YouTube?
Yeah.
So we will be able to link it, maybe?
I think so, perhaps. If I can find it, we can put a link down.
That'd be
but
awesome.
It's like, what she made was fucking, like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
She was making props out of, like, little tiny bits of wood, like drawers that worked and books that actually opened. Like, not just cubes of, like, paper, like, you could open them.
Didn't you say she worked day and night, like literally?
Yeah, she was
sleep
fucking...
for a while?
She must have been on crack, I swear. She must have been on something
On speed
to get
to do
out
it,
get out what she did. And it was all like homebrewed, because she did it was supposed to be a music video, and she made the music herself, and it was all sung as well. Her and her brother sung it in Greek. I think it was Greek. I believe it was Greek. But it was either Greek or Turkish or something, because she's not.
So it's like this special passion project that you can tell just had lots of care that went into it.
So fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. And then the other one was 3D, which was like a time-lapse thing of like a landscape going around. It was a parallax, so, one portion of it seemed to move slower than the other.
No relation to the ABC Kids show.
No, unfortunately. But, it did feel a bit shit that no like traditional hand-drawn or 2D got in, but they did pick the good ones. Like Apollonia's one. If they didn't put Apollonia's one in, I was gonna fucking firebomb the school. So hers was
Go to school tomorrow.
Don't
kids.
come to school tomorrow if Apollonia's doesn't get into the screening. Like, for real, hers was like 150%. Honestly.
I mean, and
but,
they always put animation second though. Typically, even if there's just 2, they won't try and like promote those 2.
Ours came at the end, so yeah.
Oh, so yours was the finale, the 2. Oh, then that's not that
came
bad.
At the end.
That's okay.
I believe they did, but it's like, okay, well, you remember the first, the last, of whatever you're watching, so those ones probably stuck. But it's like, damn, they got so much more shit in. They had like music videos and like documentaries and their own little student films and stuff. And I'm like,
music video is so easy to make. You could just one shot it and make it in a day. There's just I cannot tell you how easy that is to do, and so much fun it is to do. But yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, so what are they? So we didn't do like an official comparison, but based on what happened when we were speaking to some of the film and TV kids, they had to put a lot of money of their own into the projects. Like, they had to do fundraisers and put in money of their own to pay for like catering and the actors and actresses and stuff, all the equipment hire and all this other shit that, like, they could get cameras and recorders, basic cameras and recorders from the school like deposit, because we had a really good like little library of equipment there, which was like fucking phenomenal. But like the good cameras, like one of them mentioned something about a red light lens, I think that's what they said it was. They said that they had to get that specially from a place in the city because no other place had them for rent, and they paid something like 20,000 for the entire film. And I'm like, what the fuck?
20 grand.
Yeah, someone put like a lot of their
I
money
didn't
into
realize
it.
lens to be fucking expensive, but 20, you have to be from
These
a
are
rich
like
family.
Yeah, well, something like that. No, it had a 2 in it. I'm not sure if it was 20 or,
Oh, it
or
would've
like
been
2,000 or something.
2,200 or something crazy.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
I just can't remember because I don't think I
Gonna
heard
say
it
you'd
right.
have to have parents who are like CFO of a company or something to want to invest in that.
Stupid, something like that. And then I'm like, okay, so that's good and all, but you already had a head start. Even if even if, oh, woe is me, I had to pay for my fucking thing. You even had a head start. They got a collaboration with the sound engineering kids, the TAFE sound engineers from Box Hill
So
University.
they had all the handouts.
So they literally had fucking like this is half of our fucking thing, you know. You get the visuals and the sound, and they literally just had their sound done for them. It's like, fuck off. You know, I was
Sound is so important.
wading through the quicksand with my sound, and that was literally just like on my project. It was just me. I did all the animating, all the conceptualizing, all the sound, all the post, all the pre, all the actual production. Everything that came into my major, which still isn't finished, was me. But they had like teams. They had like directors, camera people, people holding the boom arms, caterers, actresses, proper actresses and actors, and
Good voice actors?
they were okay. They were definitely not like big names. They were like amateur ones.
Yeah.
That
Big names doesn't really matter.
that would take any kind of
Yeah.
job. They were good. They were not like the next rising star, I suppose, from what I can recall. But
Because voice acting animation's way easier than in film, because in animation they can animate over the top something really
Yeah,
great. This is what I heard you say in a recent podcast.
pretty much,
sorry.
yeah. I mean, that's what I did. What you do when you're doing that is you get the animation up in front of you and you run it silent, or as silent as you can. Like, you usually have a lot of the sound effects in place still, but you have no dialogue there, and you have the script in front of you, and it's got like a direct timestamp for when you are supposed to say it, so that they can literally just directly plug it straight in.
Wow.
So it'll say on the sheet like 24 seconds in, character says X, and as the thing's running, it's got a timer that ticks up, and as soon as it hits 24 seconds, you say the line. And they do takes of it, of course, because you watch it however many times beforehand to get the timing of the speaking line.
Yeah.
And then they plug it in. But of course, sometimes they have to do it special or something. But I don't know. It is a lot easier. I prefer voice acting than like actual acting, because you can put
Someone can do so much with your voice.
Exactly. You can put any voice onto anyone. It's a bit difficult to put any voice into anyone if it's live action. Like, some people get away with it if they're really convincing with accents, but at that point they need like linguists and whatever
100%.
to help them like perfect the accent so that it doesn't sound like fake and hammy and shit.
Well, one of my favourites of all time is Robin Williams doing The Genie in Aladdin, because that's like 150% a performance put into the voice acting, and an extra 150% put into the animation. So you get Robin Williams come to life in an animated film, which is just, you'd never really pick happen, but they did it so well, Disney. But yeah,
Indeed.
sorry, I was just going to really quickly say my story that's related to the topic of someone trying to like shit on your passion. And remember, we can't really say his name because I don't want to get sued, but the next podcast, guys, is going to be a massive roast on the one person, or part of it's going to be a massive roast on one person.
I think I just figured out.
Like the dude that's fucking us over that we're going to see tonight, which should be interesting. His mum, shock horror, is similar to him. Genetics.
Apple doesn't fall far from the branch.
Exactly. And she was like asking everyone what they were doing. She was at his apartment and I was there, and everyone was saying, oh yeah, just studying psychology in uni, studying science degree in uni and all that stuff. And she turned to me and she's like, so what are you doing, Sam? And I'm like, doing videography, freelance, and also editing together some documentaries. And she just like rolled her eyes. She couldn't even pretend to be nice. The camera's just timed out.
No,
Couldn't even pretend to be nice.
That's some shit. Honestly, fucking.
I'm trying to fix this setting on the camera, by the way, Adam. I tried to for hours the other night, and I couldn't do it. To try and get it to continuously record for hours. But yeah, I need to find a way to fix that. So she just rolled her eyes, and I was just like, look, whatever. And that was that.
Who needs your validation?
Yeah, who needs your validation? She just said, oh, okay. That's all she said. And a couple weeks later, my other mate's mum, who's friends with her, she was telling me a story about how she came back to her and said, oh, Sam, he's doing nothing, And I was like,
so what does
fucking knew it.
What does her son do?
Get ready. He's studying to become a person in a laboratory who their only job is to sort feces.
So, what? Okay. No, I'm just trying to figure out what the fucking title is for that kind of job.
Poo sorter.
Poo sorter. Yeah, no, I get that, but like, what do you study to become a poo sorter?
He literally does nothing. He does no work. He's on his PlayStation every night screaming. Meanwhile, I'm at home fucking working my ass off on a video and YouTube, and his mum just has the fucking nerve to say, my son works so much fucking harder. Yeah, right. He's on this PlayStation going, get fucked! Yeah. That's all he does is scream that out on this PlayStation every night.
Works harder at fucking try-harding on GTA. Fuck. I mean, of all the fucking games, GTA.
Was that what he was playing? Yeah, oh, he definitely...
He's playing fucking GTA races, like, as if that's gonna go anywhere, Like, if it was like a limited time raid event or something in like a PvP game or whatever, you'd be like, okay, fine, he wants to get this event done. It's fucking GTA 5 races. Where the fuck is that going in the next 20 years? GTA Online is the most expensive video game, most profitable, most profitable entertainment property in the world, like on record. It's made so much money that there's no way it's going anywhere. It literally just shits money.
Well, something about this dude you have to realise that Adam is a lot of the shit he does is pointless. How he treats people. I mean, there's no point to being a dickhead, in my opinion. Like, what is the point? You look like an asshole, you make a person feel like shit, and you feel great for about 5 minutes before you go back to your miserable, sad life. So it's not the roast podcast yet of this kid, and this camera just will not get fucked. I don't know why.
Has it got battery?
It has. I charged it. No battery power remains. I charged it heaps.
We had a power.
The good news is I can edit it and just put technical difficulties screen over the top of this.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately.
I have so many backup options. I have a second camera. I have more batteries for this. I just don't know how to take this off. I might need your hand.
No, it's your tripod.
Oh, I don't know how. I'll just continue talking to the mic. Sorry guys, this is literally every podcast. I've tried my hardest to finally make a podcast where it's continuous recording. There are no mic issues. There's only one that's like that, I think, and that's the third one we did at my house, the HS one where we talk about HSPs. That's a great podcast. Watch that one.
Legacy episode.
That's a good episode. Where we talk about the social battery theories.
Dude, that's my fucking greatest hour. I swear, coming up
your
with
greatest hour on the roast
like that's
podcast.
not even like my own theory. Like I heard someone else talk about that, but just the way I had my take on it was really good.
It was, and I still listen. I've heard that about 5 times over, your take on it, because it's just so interesting to listen to. It's so fascinating, and the setup we had there with those lights and that corner of the room was just like my favourite setup so far.
Yeah.
This one's actually not bad. This setup today.
No.
We got fucking cameras. That microphone is great if you turn the silent off, because it can hear it when the recording stops. But this camera is driving me nuts because I've tried to research ways to continuously record. I've charged these batteries up completely and they still don't pass. So I kind of did this.
Gotta shake it out.
Yeah. And I've just tried everything to get our podcast as professional as possible, but clearly I haven't tried hard enough, Adam.
Clearly not.
And
we just gotta have like the problem is we live too far away. The problem is we live too far away. If we had like a studio or something
to
just set up, we could go ham, cheese, and the whole fucking tomato on it.
One day, guys, we'll have like a legit studio. We won't have these sorts of issues. It'll be the
like
professional cast.
Ad hoc, made up ones, made up on the spot ones.
Absolutely. We'll probably do one day in the State Library podcast studio, which you can actually hire out.
Dude.
We'll do our 50th episode in there. 50th of the Roast podcast will be in the State Library podcast studio.
How much is that? Got to start saving.
Yeah, got to start saving up for that. I'll pitch in half. You pitch in half. It might be a lot. We'll have to see. 50 episodes is a bit. Is like 20 episodes away. So yeah.
Only 20, goddamn.
And we are. Thanks for doing that, Adam. Cheers.
That's alright.
It's not easy. We're back.
No, it's not easy.
We're back. We
Go back.
recording, and these girls have done like 800 laps of this oval during our podcast. Maybe they're listening. Maybe they've got like a listening device. You know those FBI ones.
They dropped one as they were walking past, so they could listen in.
I mean, I don't mind. It's uploaded to YouTube anyway, so that's kind of pointless. But we want to try and make some amazing podcasts like that Social Battery Theory one, because that's like the second most viewed one. So clearly people
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, enjoyed what we were saying, and it's fun. And I think there's one more topic before we cut this podcast and go to episode 29, because we are on a tight schedule here today.
Yeah. Maybe I could do like an animation of that, my Social Battery Theory.
Really? That'd be awesome. To go with what you said on the podcast.
Yeah, like maybe like listen back to what I wrote, what I said, like transcribe it
and chop it into like
clean it up a tiny bit. Maybe re-record it. I don't know.
Yeah, we could re-record it into like a 4-minute thing with a script.
Then do an animation over it. That could be pretty sick.
That'd be awesome.
Just to explain the Adam Cook Social Battery Theory.
Adam. You hate people going Adam. Wait, how did they say it to you? The way you hated it? Did they go Adam, or what did they do?
Fuck. I can't remember, and honestly, I don't want to think about it.
I'm sorry for bringing it up.
It's alright.
It's because my mate says Adam, and he means it the nicest way possible.
No,
but
like
he's a dick.
if they say it like, and I can tell that it's a joke,
and it's not like shitting
like
on you,
like a shitting on me joke, then I'm like,
you don't really mind.
Why not?
Yeah.
But if they're just going out of their way to be dicks, I'm just going to be like, fuck, yeah, okay.
Like the guy we're going to talk about in the next podcast.
Yeah.
But you've met once.
I've met him, and he was, I don't know, he just ate his KFC and went into his room and played GTA, so it's like, barely even interacted with him. He just like, as I said, he ate his KFC.
He didn't want to come out with us.
Didn't open the door for me when I didn't go up to the top of the building.
Yeah, see, that's him to a T. That's where his mind's at. Like, his mindset's not at...
knocked on the fucking door, and he's sitting there stupid. I can hardly talk about...
What do you mean he was in front of you and you didn't leave it open for you?
No, he was in his room playing, and I knocked on the door, and he wouldn't come out. But I mean, I can hardly talk about, being oblivious with your headphones on while you're playing.
That's so much worse. He's such a fuckwit, honestly. If you're watching this, sue me, fucker.
Unfortunate.
Come on, mate!
Let's go.
I'm keen for the next podcast where we chill, and we may as well get to that very soon. We'll do one more topic, though, for this podcast. There's one more, and I'm sorry, but you've got to open your phone up again.
Fuck, you can't remember it?
I wrote these down over like a period of a few weeks, and I never looked at them again. I just thought, that'll be alright.
Fair.
So, mum's
should have put a third layer.
Mate's mum. Oh, there we go. What do you mean third layer? Oh, you cold?
A little bit.
No way. I might have another. I have shirts in there, but I might have a jumper in my car. I actually have another jacket in my car if you want.
Nah, it's alright. I'll be
big
fine.
Jacket. Don't follow the status quo if you don't want to. Being a robot and following the norm is what most people do is boring. Now that ties in with what I just said, with everyone thinking that they have to do a science degree, or everyone thinking that they have to do a physics degree, or whatever they were good at in high school. Like, feeling the pressure to do that because everyone's expecting you, or everyone thinks, you're just going to do that. And
that's not how it works.
Exactly.
That's not how it works.
When you don't want to do a degree that other people just expect you to do, you don't have to do it.
Like, I enjoy, a bit of physical, coming up with solutions and all that, but all the shit that goes into being an engineer, like all the designing and like mathematical equations for all that stuff, literally, well, I don't know, long-time viewers of the podcast may remember.
I completely forgot that you had this same struggle that I wrote. I didn't even write that down, realising.
long-time viewers of the podcast might recall that I did 2 weeks of a engineering TAFE course before I transitioned into animation, which was the best decision I've ever made since. But like, I literally went from...
I was partly to blame for him transitioning to animation.
No!
That was a bad influence. I was telling him to do it.
Honestly, best choice I've ever made. And like, I literally went from year 12 skipping classes by hiding in the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, that was fucking dark days. I just couldn't be fucked to go to some classes, you know. And I'd literally just... It was mainly maths class. Even though the teacher was great, he understood, and he was compassionate about it. I genuinely enjoyed the maths. Like, the theory behind it, all the, you know, the way that it all comes together was really interesting. But doing every single fucking question 3 times over, and then doing them all again and again and again, and, you know, coming up with some really like trick bullshit that's supposed to catch you out, unless you know like this really obscure fact about the theory that only comes into play in like this one instance. It's like, fuck,
completely understand.
That's so fucking bullshit.
I flunked
like,
out
let me just do the equation, understand the theory, and like marvel at the way the math works, instead of like grinding my nose against the grindstone that is doing the same fucking question 20,000 times.
And here's the thing, you could develop an interest in mathematics one day in your life, and you'll realise, oh my god, I don't have to do it the way they made me do it. I can actually enjoy it for my own merits.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, what's it called? So this is gonna probably sound really fucking nerdy, right?
It's alright. This is I'm sounding nerdy.
For I've gotten into Pokemon cards, right? And for one of my friends, Izzy, she's into Pokemon cards. She got me back into it. And for her birthday, I was thinking of buying a hard case so that she can store all of her like special cards.
Sweet. Sorry.
And so what I did was, when I was on like a late shift at work, when there was no one coming through the gates, no one coming through the doors, I didn't have to screen anyone, I sat there and I did fucking volume equations to try and figure out how many top-loaded cards could fit into this hard case.
Wow, so you're still doing maths?
Yeah, and I just sat there and I was like, okay, so, you know, volume is length times width times height, and then it ends with it's cubed because it's a 3-dimensional, you know, integer. You're like, okay, so I literally trawled, like I had a computer in front of me from the screening. I trawled the fucking internet to try and figure out how thin a Pokemon card was, or how thin a top loader was, like the plastic sleeve that you can put over it, the hard sleeve. Yeah, exactly. It'd be like 0.7 millimeters thick for the top loader. And so I had to calculate this tiny ass volume number, and then like divide the number that I got for the volume, the internal volume of the hard case, with the volume of the card, and I got like an actual number. So I got like, it was like, if I got the medium version, the medium case, it would be like 79 cards in it, and for the large case it would be 92. So I'm like, which one do I get? I'm probably going to go for the medium case because that's a pretty good size. But like, this is the kind of shit that maths is like fun for, you know, not doing the same hypothetical. Oh, you know, James has 17 watermelons, whatever fucking bullshit that they want to come up with like that. No, give me something like, give me a real life fucking thing for this. You know, like fuck, this is the like stuff, you know, and maths isn't just, you know, working out how to do the stupid fucking equations. No, they should give us like actual diagrams and stuff, or like actual real life objects that we have to figure out.
You go out to buildings in the city and try and measure how tall they are, something like to the nearest centimetre, or something really crazy off on guard.
Yeah.
Like, there's no maths excursions that you ever go on, are there?
No, exactly. Like,
ridiculous.
Fuck.
Of course, kids aren't going to be interested in it if you just sit
No,
in a classroom all day.
it's like when the numbers have no meaning, there's no interest.
There's no real life example to connect them with.
And that's why they try and give you some fucking wacky example, like, you know, James has 17 watermelons or whatever.
Most boring stock standard thing they could have.
Well, I mean, like, fucking give me 17 watermelons, but there's no way that you can conceptualize half of the things, the problems that they come up with, or the way that they would go about them. Like, you get, like, you know, there was one where we had to identify like the area and volume of a planter box that someone was putting into their backyard, and it's like, okay, so the planter box would be X wide, and it's like, no, fuck, that's not how it works. Use a ruler, use a tape measure.
Exactly.
Like, literally
do it like a real person would.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, their backyard is 20 meters by 20 meters, and it's like X equals something wacky equation for, you know, extrapolating the number of X out of 20. It's like, fuck, can you just give me a side, and I could give me one of the side like lengths, and I could probably find the rest of it if you give me enough time.
If they're going to go as random as that, they may as well not include the real life example at all.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me some fucking esoteric bullshit, and I'll be fine. If you're just going to go ham, cheese, and the whole fucking tomato on the stupid example. But that's the kind of thing, like, I literally came out of skipping maths because while I loved the theory behind it, like the way that the equations come out can be fucking beautiful. Like the way that some maths equations seem to solve themselves can be actually like music. It's so like liberating to see the equation rise out of this mess of like numbers and symbols. But I went from, you know, loving the fuck out of it to just being like,
and that's what the school system does.
To doing.
So we did do this topic.
Like I literally would skip. Chemistry was. I did some hard fucking sciences, dude. I did literature instead of English, so that was already, you know, shooting myself in the foot. I was going to do lit and English, which was going to be like fuck, but I did just literature, which was fine because there was only 5 of us in the class, so that was like, okay, you know. The smaller the class, the more intimate the like time.
So I've just got to check this. Keep going. Yeah.
That you could get with the teacher, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you had a question, you didn't have to brawl with the rest of the class to try and get it answered.
Yeah.
You could just put your hand up, and you know you're 1 out of 5 students. Of course, they're going to see you put your hand up.
Classes like that, where it was way better. Yeah.
Yeah. Small classes that small class was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like
were you all on the one table?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
We all just sat on the one table, and it was like we had this big ass classroom all to ourselves.
It's great.
But it was just the 5 or 6, including the teacher. It was awesome. But yeah, so I did lit. I did psychology, which was really fun. Like actually quite fun.
I didn't get the same value out of it.
The only problem was all the fucking stupid kids thought it would be like a blood science.
Yeah.
So they came into it and just
that
bullshitted
totally
their way
wasn't
through it.
me.
Like, fuck off. Like I'd be sitting there waiting to learn about, you know, fucking Freudian theory or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the biology of the brain, and like, you know, serotonin uptake inhibitors and all that shit. And the one fucking dunce in the class is like, "Oh, miss, did you watch The Bachelor last night?" And I'm like,
the dance. The code on it.
Fuck. I'm like, shit. You have to be shitting me. You're asking this question right now. And the problem is the teacher entertained all of these stupid questions
Of course they do.
Because she was like the fun auntie kind of character. She'd be like, you know, laughing and joking around, and then when she got serious, she knew it was serious, but she didn't get serious enough of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, miss, can you just fucking teach me what I'm here for? I don't want to sit here and listen to you lot waffle on about the fucking Bachelor or these fucking stupid reality TV shows for all the time. Like, fuck. And then, yeah, so lit, psychology. I then did chemistry.
Yep.
Which was really good fun, except I was a little bit stupid at some points and just couldn't understand some stuff. So like some of the stuff that it was like I grasped it all, the theory behind. The thing is, I get all the theory behind it, right?
Yeah.
Every time like I'm given a theory, I'm usually really good with it. But when it comes to the practical application of the theory
Yeah.
in numbers or like in an equation, I trip up
Yeah, me too.
because the stress of having to apply it is like, what the fuck? Because the theory doesn't always fit into the question like a puzzle piece. You have to mold it a little bit to get it to work, or look at it in a different light. And sometimes looking at it in a different light is a bit difficult for me, or molding it is a bit difficult. So I see the theory and I'm like, okay, so, you know, an oil rig cat, which is anode oil oxidation is loss. Cat is like cathode, which means that oxidation happens at the anode, and what's it called?
I don't know what he's talking about.
No, this is like some chemistry stuff, and like I understood it, but putting it into practice when they ask you it in like this really backwards way is like, what the fuck are you asking me?
Yeah.
Like, this is some weird shit. And like when we actually got to do like the practical experiments, it was like, fuck yes, let's go. The practical experiments were the best part. And then it's like you get to the theory part and it's like, doing the same fucking question.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. It's
you know,
repetition.
trying to beat it into students' heads with repetition is like, I get that it works sometimes, but it doesn't work for everyone.
It does not. It's designed for a certain type of student, and that's what pisses me off so much about the school system.
Yeah, like
That sort of thing.
like Lachlan, my brother, he's bright. He's not fucking stupid. He knows his shit, but he just can't apply it in the classroom.
Yeah.
So
Is he in year 12?
He's in year 12. He's doing VCAL, so he's like doing trades and shit.
Yes,
and he's
so
loving it.
he's
He
in
loves
the-
it so much. He loves it so much, and he's got a good fucking head on his shoulders. He knows his shit when it comes to like he looks up. I don't know. He does like stock market shit. He's
sweet.
and he does like Bitcoin, like crypto mining and all that. He
So
looks
he's
it
lost
up.
a bit of his smart ass that he used to have.
Yeah, like he's not dumb. He knows some of his stuff, but like he's just not the kind of character that can apply it in the environment that a classroom or an exam is testing for.
Me too.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like what?
It's not for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not fair. And so, they could be really good at one thing and then just not get the opportunity for it because too dumb for school or just didn't get it. It's like, no, he's not fucking dumb. Lachlan is fucking far from dumb.
It's infuriating
just-
when people put a label on someone just because
doesn't
they've chosen
get
their
it.
own
He doesn't
thing.
get
Yeah,
it.
Exactly.
Sometimes, like, it's difficult for him to get things like he grew up having trouble reading. It's like, well, I taught myself to read when I was super young, so like I didn't have anyone sitting there with the book. Just because he had to have someone sitting there with the book doesn't make him dumb.
Football's doing cars all the time, so it's distracting the fuck out of me.
Alright. And then it's like, what? He is like not great at chemistry or whatever. So,
So the point we're getting to here
What
is
we're getting is
you
he's
don't have to
not the-
learn all this
yeah,
shit when you're
exactly.
young. You can
You
learn
don't-
it eventually.
exactly. You've
Yeah.
got your whole fucking life. You
There's
don't have
no
to do it all
pressure.
before 18.
Exactly. There's no stupid pressure. And whenever the teachers say, "Oh, you have to," they can all get fucked.
The weight they give to the fucking ATARs. I don't even remember mine.
It's apparent how
And
much
it,
pressure
like
there is.
it means literally nothing after you've gotten a placement into a university, and there's so many avenues into university.
And you're
Like,
doing what you
most
love.
of the time, like when they say that there's avenues into university, they're not bullshitting you. Like there's always one way to get into it. Like I wanted to do, the one that I put down was a Bachelor of Animation, right? And I didn't get the ATAR for it, right?
Yeah.
But I did get to go into a diploma of animation, which honestly, turned out to be the best thing that ever happened because the Bachelor of Animation was boring bullshit, like theory stuff. And the TAFE course was hands-on, get down and dirty in the fucking mud, actually doing all the stuff.
Exactly.
There was very little theory that we had to learn without some kind of practical application to it. It was building a folio, building the skills you need to go out into the industry and make something of yourself, learning all the programs, learning all that other shit. If I had have known that was like a deal beforehand, that I could go into that kind of learning space where it was no bullshit, no like fucking sit around, learn stupid theory and then do 20,000 versions of the same question, I would have been like, bro, sign me the fuck up right now, because I'm going there.
100% agree. I was in year 12
like,
thinking, I'm just doing this because I want to finish school, but in the end, it's like, if it's having an effect on your mental health, you're skipping classes, like in your case, like in my friend Cooper's case, and if you're just not getting the same value out of it that you probably think that you should, then it's not the environment for you. And that's why I'm so happy that Lockie didn't like feel the pressures.
Figured out that he could.
Yeah,
there was an alternate path for him. Yeah,
exactly.
He almost didn't make it either. Like he was going to do VCE in year 11, because VCAL starts at year 11.
Yeah,
I believe. But he's like, there's got to be some that like. I think he just hit like a crisis point where all of the homework over COVID was like stacking up, and he's like, you know what, I just can't go on like this.
Fair enough.
I can't go on like that. And then, what's it called? He figured out that yes, there was an opportunity for him to dive into VCAL before the close-off point, and he's like, sign me the fuck up. I'm doing it. I'm doing that. Straight up. And he got all the paperwork for it. He went and talked to all the teachers, got it all signed up.
That's in the mic, sorry.
No, that's right. And got it all signed up himself.
Further away from
Literally,
the mic.
like, went to school doing VCE and came home from school doing VCAL.
Yeah.
Basically, that's basically what I did as well. You know, went to uni doing engineering, had some talks, had a bit of soul searching for myself, and then came home and said, I'm doing animation.
Well, I was applying for RMIT. That's how I had my heart set on since like year 9. I wanted to do a diploma at RMIT, and then they rejected me after the interview because the interview was a dick, and the questions they asked in the interview were so left of field, really shit. And I was just like so devastated for a good month that I wasn't going to do anything. Yeah. And then Homeschooling offered me, and I was like, let's just do it. And I thought, look, I don't give a fuck that it's a TAFE. It's not part of the uni. I don't give a shit. I was going to take that course anyway. Let's just do it. It was the fucking best year living at your house. Obviously, I've explained this a million times on the podcast.
Yeah, that was a great time.
The sickest, and it was just like memories. I just had so much fun, and I do not regret a thing other than Patrick.
Yeah.
But I think we've wrapped this up in a nice little bow. But if you do have more to add, because I don't want to cut you off. Sorry. Oh, there's footballs under cars all the time, so it's distracted the crap out of me.
That's right. I think we're done for this one.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
We've actually, by accident, covered all the topics that I listed for this episode because you started talking about what school was like for you, and that literally to a T was that question that we glossed over. So we've done it perfectly. I apologise for the technical difficulties. Sorry, guys.
Issues.
We always have them. Hopefully the next 2 podcasts we won't have many, but we'll be back for episode 29 that we're about to film soon. We might get Adam warm though.
Yes, I'm a little bit chilly. Usually I'm not so bad, but like...
I think I know how to get you. Wait, I think I know what to do.
No, it's fine. Give me the blankie. The dusty blankie. Oh, bro.
It's so grunny.
Oh, get that off.
It's a haircut.
Yeah, I'm getting a bloody haircut over here.